Performance anxiety. This is something that affects all of us. In fact, at the PTC, we have something called the musical moment, where some of the principal tutors take it in turns to give short performances over the course of the course days. And we're quite happy to admit that this is one of the most scariest things that we do, performing in front of colleagues as well as a hall packed with piano teachers. Great musicians, legendary artists, thespians on stage, we all experience performance anxiety, and this is to be expected and quite normal, and it's very important to understand this. In fact, I would go as far as to say it's necessary. I have a friend who's a conductor who happened to conduct the same concerto with the same soloist twice, once with an amateur orchestra, once with a professional, and I have it on evidence where he said, on this particular occasion, I should add, the amateur performance actually had more engagement and more excitement than that of the latter. Where I'm sure it's just on that particular occasion, it just happened to be that it was more of a practiced day job for them, probably just on that occasion. But certainly I do remember adjudicating one of these competitions where the finalists of each category get sent to the national final, and there was an advanced category where the candidate, there was only one in the class, so if he plays well, he would have got through. And he played something very advanced, Cacciatrion or something, very impressive technical facility. And I was sat there thinking, well, this is really fantastic, great acrobatics, incredible technical facility. Didn't last long. I quickly got bored. And I did ask at the adjudication, were you nervous at all? And the boy just sat back and said, no, not really. And I had to tell him, well, this is exactly why I cannot be sending you to the final. You need to rethink what performance is about, what music is about. So this is where I go with the whole concept that performance anxiety is important. Without it, it doesn't create something special. It has to have that live element, it has to have that something special. Now, in order for us to be able to positively use this, we do need the preparation. The foundation of musical understanding and technical facility is a must, and certainly you would do your background research of the work as well as the actual musical message that you have. And then, of course, technically there are always those tricky corners that we get scared about. I mean, in fact, I'm doing this Beethoven Piano Sonata in D major. It's got a lovely, very slow section to start with. And then suddenly gets very busy. So I do my practice, and then I do a bar before, starting from a bar before, another bar before, a phrase to go, a section to go, and then the whole movement, to make sure that when that point comes, I am not thinking negatively, but I'm thinking, yes, I have done it, it's fine, I can play this. But of course I do this with that sense of performance, not just as a matter of practice process. It's very important to incorporate that. Sometimes I even do star jumps just to make sure that to keep that heart rate high. So once we go through all this, then we want to do our performance practice. Now for this, of course, there are some organizations you can join to play to each other, and these are all grand, but I always feel just grab one member of a family or a friend, that's all we need. Sit them down, promise them a pint afterwards or something, get yourself in a situation where you can't start a piece and then just say, oh, sorry, I made a mistake, can I start again? This is all we need. Just that one person will be sufficient. Again, you can go and do a bit of star jumps and come out as if it's a performance, do your bow, go through the process, but that's all we really need for the performance practice. So once we go through these elements, it's all done, and now it's time to enjoy, for yourself as well as the audience. One important thing to remember, that the audience member are not interested in your anxiety. They don't care about your worries. They don't want to know about your panic. They just want to be entertained by your performance, by the music. That's what they are there for. So if things do go wrong, and they will, I promise you they will, don't show it, it's not necessary. And I know it's not easier said than done, and then this is where the performance practice comes from. Even if it's more of a grand occasion, it's still important to treat each occasion to learn from and then to better ourselves. We can only learn by going through these stages. But as I said, the main thing is not to be bothered by it. And I always tell my students, mistakes are going to happen. It's just part and parcel. Otherwise, if you want the perfect rendition, put on a CD. This is what it's all about now, the live performance. We still make mistakes, and there's a charm to it. I feel it's perfectly acceptable and it's perfectly normal. I would go as far as to say, not once have I performed and not made a single mistake. It is absolutely fine. In fact, I may leave you with this quote. A performance is just a series of damage control. Now, I do say this with a little bit of cheek, but in a way, once the preparation is done, the musical message is clear, I wouldn't say that it's completely wrong. It's something that can be given consideration. So don't forget to make sure that you have your fun, enjoy what you can of the performance, and certainly, as I said, mistakes happen, don't worry about it. And I keep going on about it because I worry myself, but it is to be expected and it will happen. Not something we want to focus on. We should be focusing on the musical element. So remember to have fun. Thank you very much for watching this far.